All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Tom Antrim. I'm the program assistant for Northeastern Illinois University TESOL program. We are very excited to launch a podcast series with our alumni from the MA and TESOL program. Today, we're very excited to have with us Ian Randall, who graduated with this MA and TESOL. So, Ian, if you could introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Well, yes. So as you said, my name is Ian Randall, program at Northeastern Illinois University from between the 2010 to 2012. And I really, really enjoyed my time there. I was fortunate enough to work within the Writing Center, and that was a part of originally the English language programs, and then it was became part of the other like tutoring support general services there. And then also I got to work as a teaching assistant within a classroom during the in the English language program as well there. So that was really, really excellent experience for me. I am currently teaching in a joint program between the University of North Texas and the Kansai Gaidai University in Osaka. So it is a what's referred to as a super IES program. The university here partners with universities from other places in the world, from University of North Texas, Alabama University, and Humber in Canada. And so they are helping students prepare for studying abroad and working with the IEPs from those universities. So I'm currently working here. I have been at Kansai Gaidai since the spring of 2023. So it's now been 2 and a bit more than a half years.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's who I am.
Great. Thanks so much for sharing. And then, would you just mind briefly telling the audience when you graduated with your MA in TESOL?
Sure. Well, I graduated actually later. I graduated in 2014. I finished my coursework in 2012, but I was working on the graduation project for a little while. So I received my diploma in 2014, if I remember correctly. I have to double check against that. Yeah, the timeline gets a little bit fuzzy, kind of like me. So
Awesome. Thanks, Ian. And did you know that you always wanted to teach ESL in Japan, or how did that come about?
Well, it was I when I started my MA program, the goal was to be able to teach abroad somewhere. When I had started in the MA program, I had already worked as a language tutor and English educator within the States, and I'd worked with a lot of international students before.
Hmm.
And I had actually never really traveled, and I was very interested in my students' courage of just being able to go to a new country and study. And so I felt, well, a good way to emulate that is to go for the master's program. So when I initially was going through the program, I wasn't necessarily thinking about a specific country in mind.
Right.
I'm from the era when the yearly TESOL conference would have the career fair. Um,
Hmm.
I think they've done away with that, unfortunately. But that was a really, really great opportunity where I would go the very first one that I went to in Baltimore, and then later on, or pardon me, no, the first one was in Philadelphia and then later on in Baltimore. I went to those conferences and I got to interview with 6 or 7 different programs
Yeah.
from a variety of different countries. And so the last time when I had decided to finally go overseas, because I taught in Chicago for a while after 2014, and I enjoyed working in the city, but when I decided to make a change, I was again interested in a variety of possibilities. And
Hmm.
so I had interviews with American University of Iraq, four or five universities in Saudi Arabia, Bilkent in Turkey,
Uh,
and my previous employer in Japan, Tokyo International University.
hmm
And so it was a really, really great opportunity to meet a variety of people from a wide, wide range of employers. And the best opportunity that was offered to me the quickest was from Tokyo International University.
hmm
It was, that program is really special because you are teaching a mixture of Japanese students who are learning English, and then you had international students who are learning in English. They're students who are
Okay, yeah.
from, yeah, it was there's been a big push within Japan. There was even more so before the pandemic, but it's starting to come back for English of medium instruction. A lot of
hmm
universities are trying to increase their international enrollment, and so Tokyo International was doing so, and we would teach first year composition essentially classes to students who are from Vietnam,
Oh,
Uzbekistan, some
nice.
students
Yeah.
from the US. So it was a really great opportunity to uh, continue some work I was doing in Chicago. And so
Yeah.
that was, yeah, that was what brought me there rather than like, I really want to go to Japan. That
Sure.
was the more the joke that I had told some of my colleagues was like, like some people do the job to travel. I traveled to do the job.
Hmm
Yes, in that case, which
Yeah.
um, yeah, but I mean, like since that position ended, in Japan, unfortunately, a lot of the university positions you have a contract maximum, and I hit the maximum at my old position, and so then I had to find a new job. And when I was searching around for new positions, I was interviewed and accepted this position here. And it has been very true that, like, yeah, since living in Japan now for 9.5 years. No, not 9.5. It's 9 and a couple months. But like,
Close enough. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's something I really, really have come to really enjoy. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's been, I like, I'd like to joke that again too. It was like, it's like, well, if I didn't like it, I would, you know, leave. But yeah, I do really enjoy it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, of course.
Um, and then when you think back to your experiences in the TESOL program here at Northeastern, is there like a specific class or lesson or memory that really sticks out to you?
Well, there's a lot. I think one of the first moments of, oh yeah, here I am, that I had when I was starting in the program. I remember I had Dr. Stone's Introductory to Linguistics, or it wasn't Intro to Linguistics, it was what comes like one of the earliest classes where you're breaking down sentences and you're starting to go into word forms and, yeah, and those elements to it. I cannot
Was
remember the
it
code for the
was
like.
it 420, the structure of modern English?
It was okay. I think that it was, I believe it was 420 because later on it became advanced linguistic or advanced English analysis. Like that was the next level of within that course, if I remember correctly. It was,
Hmm
yeah, I believe it was 420 in that case there. But like, he came in and he sat at the podium, and this was in Lekvolesa Hall, so in one of those larger classrooms, which was something that was rather different than my undergrad. And he just sat down and goes, "What's a word?" In his great Dr. Stonish intonation. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, this is the program I'm in now. And so
Yeah.
that was really was a really wonderful great experience. But I do remember, I mean, there were so many great discussions with Teddy and with Janine, and so many great moments in their classes or in Dr. Berlin's content-based instruction class, and really getting to dig into what some of that work was. And I can definitely think of So I came from a background of tutoring. I was really used to one-on-one. I had worked in writing centers for a few years before becoming or before starting the program at Northeastern. And the idea of trying to develop a class and also teaching in a class that was not already a university level program. Because
Hmm.
when I was teaching at writing centers, there were students who had already entered into the university and they were already at a fairly high level of proficiency.
Sure.
Um, I remember within Dr. Jackie Trademan, rest in peace, her course on techniques of teaching English as a second language, just trying a lesson and it bombing hard. It was just a really it did not work. The classmates who I had were very, very good about pointing out where there were issues with the delivery or the design of the lesson,
Hmm.
especially for what was the ostensible target. They did so in a way that was respectful. They did so in a way that was useful, but they did so in a way to clearly show that this would not work out in your favor in the classroom. And so
Right.
having a solid place to test something. That was something I still think about then too, and thinking about like, when I'm designing lessons, like, okay, hey, what could go wrong? And and is this at the level or is this tilting too high or maybe too low? So,
Yeah, that's wonderful. I'm glad you were able to get some of that feedback, and I'm sure that definitely helped early on.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
And I guess that actually kind of ties into our next question as well. So, if you can expand on it, that's fine. If not, that's okay too. But how would you say overall the TESOL program has helped you grow personally and professionally?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, I came from a place where I was more accustomed to a one-on-one environment. I was more accustomed to initially some higher level language learners. And so being given the opportunity to see how various theories and various like academic texts like play out once they are in a classroom setting and being able
Mhm.
to be in a program where there were some people who were like me who were new educators in that sense, but there were also a lot of people who were as part of the endorsement program and
Yep.
had lots of experience in teaching, but they were getting their EAL endorsement. And so it was like, it was a really, really excellent community for that. So I think that that was some of the great benefits of being a part of it. And at the time as well, too, being able to work as a writing tutor, work as a teaching assistant, work with the excellent staff and like other individuals at the school, that was, of course, a huge boon too.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I love how you tied in sort of the mixture of the students within the graduate level courses between the ESL endorsement and the MA. And then sometimes, we'll have graduate certificate students in there, the same class section as well. So it
Yeah.
it does kind of make for a pretty nice mix. I'm glad to hear
Oh,
that that was beneficial for you.
it was so good. It was such a great help for me as a student there. Yeah, that was something that I really, really enjoyed. And the fact that I don't know, it was very homey. It was very nice because everyone was very warm and welcoming, and it was very easy to talk with all of the professors, and that certainly helped with the general sense of community in the classes.
Yeah, great. Okay, so we're actually approaching our last question. What advice do you have for a prospective MA and TESOL student? Is there like one or two things that you would tell somebody who's considering pursuing the program?
Well, I mean, I think a couple of things that have been really helpful for me would, like I said, if you are in a classroom with a variety of people who are new and have a lot of experience. Take as much as you can from every single person in the class because there's going to be so much you can learn from everyone in there. There was a lot that I had learned from people who were newer teachers. And there were, I think that I was able to share some experiences and some ideas from myself. And that also, I think, would be something else I would say is like think about your own personal strengths and
Hmm.
try and find a way to incorporate that. I come from a background of performing arts. I was an acting major, and so learning theater and using a lot of the things that I studied in my undergrad within both how I run a class or things that I use to help students with pronunciation or just presentation, then that's
Hmm.
certainly, I think, some of the biggest skills. The field, of course, is undergoing a lot of changes, what with generative AI
Yep.
and lots of different new language tools. But I do think a lot of the central of idea of people wanting to communicate and wanting to be understood and wanting to be able to express an internal idea externally and feel that sense of connection with another is not something that will be lost
Hmm.
even amongst all of the changes. So learning technology and learning these tools can be really, really helpful. But of course, make sure that you're still holding on to the those central tenets too. So that's, I think, some, I guess, maybe soapboxy point to talk about. Yeah, that's those are some of the things I could think to tell someone who's a bit newer into the field.
Absolutely. That was great. Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
everybody for watching. Um, yeah, so feel free to like and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up to date with the videos that we're posting. We also have a lot of other alumni profiles, current student profiles, faculty profiles that you can view. Ian, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you taking time to do this.